Hello, hello, hello. Happy International Tatting Day, everyone. Through the magic of technology, I am time traveling because actually it's Thursday, but when you see this, it's going to be Monday. So hopefully the weekend was beautiful for you. Happy belated Easter. Um, for me, it's the day before Good Friday. So I hope that you're all tatting happily. This is International Tatting Day. And I just think it's awesome that there's a day that the whole tatting community across the world, not just across the nation, but across the world, can come together and celebrate our love for tatting and, of course, chocolate. So I encourage you to tat in public today and eat chocolate. And I have something I'd like to share with you that's a little bit on the heavier side, perhaps, but it's really important to me. I've been really thinking about this and I'm thinking about sharing it. This is just my journey. This is only my opinion. I am not an expert in anything that I'm going to talk about. I'm just an expert in me, and I thought I would like to share it to try to encourage you if you find yourself perhaps in a tatting funk. As many of you know, I've been in a funk for a long time. I think the last video I made was a June check-in, and I had just had ovarian torsion surgery, and it was just a really quick check-in. I have recovered from that. My health hasn't been great since then. It's gone up and down. I am diabetic, and I've been having diabetic issues, and now I have this lovely eye problem where I'm really, really blurry in my left eye, which is super fun. Just kidding. And also, I know that I spoke a little bit about my husband not being able to work. He is still currently unable to work. He's still tremoring, but we're hanging in. God is good, and that's all going well. But the funk is a little bit of something I'd like to talk about today. It started probably about a year ago, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. I'm not 100% sure. It was sort of a gradual thing. And it sort of started dawning on me that there was something wrong. And that's what I'd like to touch on today. Mental health and crafting. Usually crafting is really good for mental health. It's a nice escape. Helps you focus mentally on something else that's not maybe your current situation or whatever. And that's exactly what it's always been for me. Tatting has been a love of mine since I started, I think 3 years ago ish, give or take. And I really enjoyed tatting. I really enjoyed cooking as well. And I noticed over time, it was a slow burn, slow realization for me that I was no longer joyful about cooking. I was no longer joyful about tatting. And that caused me to kind of become concerned and kind of wonder what's going on. And it was like a little red flag shoot up. And I got to the point that it was difficult, if not impossible, to force myself to tat. It got to the point where, and I've never really been an anxious person, but I noticed that my anxiety level was increased for non normal things, non appropriate things. Like I would get super nervous or anxious or whatever to the point that it would almost incapacitate me. And choosing a pattern, for example, choosing a color, choosing which shuttle to use became like overwhelming anxiety ridden choices. And I found, that's not normal. I started thinking about that, and I was like, that is not normal. And that was a red flag moment for me. And so moments, like I said, slow burn, this happened over several months. So I talked to my doctor. I had been feeling really tired to boot and just not, physically normal. So I reached out to my doctor and I was like, can we run some blood work? Like, what's going on? And was kind of ignored. Um, he kind of ignored. And then I said something again and I said something again. I said, I just don't feel mentally where feel like I should be. I feel like there's something wrong, but I don't know what it is. And so I got set up with a counselor and I've been going like once a month. And it has helped. And I just like to share that if you are feeling overwhelmed by tatting, or it was once joyful and now you're not receiving as much joy in it, don't be ashamed to reach out for help. Don't be ashamed to talk about it with friends, loved ones, acquaintances, spiritual advisors, whoever. Talk about it and share your feelings. One thing that was kind of inspiring for me while I was going through this whole journey, and I'm still going through it, so don't think it's over yet, but was Sparkling Light Creation Studio, Gloria, was sharing her journey as well, and how she had kind of taken tatting off the table for a time and had kind of fallen out of love with it. My words, not hers. And how she was exploring other things, other creative things. And I think that was also kind of a light bulb moment for me, because I was like, as creative beings, sometimes those of us that are, that if you're watching this, creative people, we kind of get, at least for me, I'll speak for myself, I get like a pressure almost feeling like I need to be creative. I need to tat. And it's a want and it's a desire, but it's also this like pressure I put on myself that I need to do this and I need to be creative and I need to make and I need to create. And that can be not helpful. That can be like a shooting yourself in the foot situation. So I would just like to encourage you, if you are in that situation, if you find yourself falling out of love with tatting and you want to fall back in love with it, my journey has taught me, I am tatting again. I'm trying to not put a lot of pressure on myself. I'm trying not to say, well, I'm going to make a video every blah, blah, blah time. Because that just became too stressful. And my counselor used a phrase that I'd never heard before, anticipatory anxiety. Never heard of that before, but it's where the anticipation of doing an activity, even a fun activity, even an activity you enjoy and look forward to, can produce a lot of anxiety to the point that you don't want to do that activity. And that was also a light bulb moment for me, because I was invited to go out to dinner for my birthday, and it was in a new place. It was at I was going to have to parallel park and all these, things, life things. And I got so anxious inappropriately. And I will say that for me, that's been my like red flag light bulb, like inappropriately anxious. It's okay to be nervous, but over the top. And I noticed that for myself, that it was like, this is not an appropriate situation that I should want to flee or fight, the fight or flight reflex. This is not an appropriate level of response to being asked to go out to dinner. But I got to the point where I had almost convinced myself I shouldn't even go. Like, it's so new. I don't know, it's in my own town. It was downtown. Yeah, I was going to have to parallel park. Yeah, I was going to have to dress up a little bit. Yeah, I was going to have to, but it's my birthday. Like, she was inviting me out for my birthday, and it was a lovely time. I went, I forced myself to go. And that brings me to, how do you get back to falling in love, with tatting? My journey has shown me baby steps are the way to go. I set like a tiny little goal for myself. I would look at patterns, and I have a little 3-ring notebook that I have like the patterns I want to do now. And now is in air quotes. Soon, seasonally, whatever. And I would look at those patterns and I would pick one. Just pick one. And then I would set it aside, take it out, get it ready to tat. And that was it. That was my goal met for the day. And then the next day, maybe I would pick one color that I wanted to work in this pattern. And then the next day, maybe the other color, because I usually like to work in a variegated and a solid. And then I would pick maybe the second color. And then maybe a week would go by. And then I'd be like, okay, I'm going to try to force myself and wind one shuttle today. So then I would wind one shuttle, and that was enough for that day. To the point that I actually then got to work the pattern. It worked for me. It was tiny little baby steps of almost self-encouragement of saying, this is something I can do, rather than rehearsing all the things in my head that I couldn't do, or that I felt I couldn't do, or that I had anxiety about, or whatever. And reaching out for help definitely has worked for me. And I really, really, really encourage you to reach out for help, and also give yourself permission to take a break. Give yourself permission to walk away from tatting for a season, and then walk back if you would like, or walk into a different activity or creative endeavor. Who knows? You may find an innovative way to combine, I don't know, quilt making, tatting, and knitting. Who knows? And that may be your jam. Like, you may really, really enjoy that. And it may lead to a whole different thing. So I just would like to encourage you this International Tatting Day, that if you have been struggling in any way, shape, or form, even remotely close to as I have been struggling, I'd just like to encourage you in your journey, as other people have encouraged me in mine without really even knowing that they did so. Gloria, thank you for your inspiration. If you happen to watch this, it really meant a lot to me to watch your journey and watch you explore other activities and be open to it, and be encouraged by it. And I just really hope that this video encourages you this Tat Day to go and tat. If you can't tat in public, if you're not up to tatting in general, at least we can all eat the chocolate together. There's always a reason for eating chocolate, if it's just, hey, it's Monday, time to eat chocolate. So I will leave you with some pretties, as I always try to do, of things that I have worked on, and some haha moments for me, because I like to laugh, and I don't mind laughing at myself. So let's see if we can do a down shot. Everything, I haven't videoed in so long, I forgot how to do all this. So here we go. Let's try. Oh, good. And it moves and everything. Okay. This is a pattern. Well, it's supposed to be a pattern, called Juna by Laura B. I can't pronounce her last name, so I just call her Laura B. And you can see that there are 6 points on here. There's only supposed to be 5. Laura does a very good job in her pattern of only having 5 arms in her star pattern. But I insisted on trying to make it 6 into a snowflake. And not only did I try once, I tried twice. The second time, I actually got it. I actually made it be a snowflake. I'm sorry, Laura. I actually forced it to be a snowflake. And it is a really pretty one. I love her design, but this is supposed to be a star and have 5 arms. So when the designers do the designing, follow their directions. They know what they're doing, and don't be afraid to say I don't know, and really actually look and read and go slow. So that was my little haha funny. Followed by another little haha funny. This is my biggest doily ever. I'm going to go back to the upshot just so you can see this thing. So here she is in all her splendor. She's quite big. Can you see that okay behind my microphone? She's not blocked yet. She's still a little, needs a little help. But this is Renulek's doily. I'm sure I'm butchering the name. I'm sorry. This is her Galaxy. I do believe. So, and I just started, what started me on this one was this variegated color right here, not the second row there, not the light green, just this variegated in here, the white and this variegated. And then I just kind of chose colors that I felt like went with that variegated color and then just moved out throughout the rows. She has 2 rows that are like standalone flower types. So I just used different variations of those color combinations to create, see, she needs a blocking, to create that. And then the second row out is another row of like standalone flowers. So I got to really experiment with color on this one, which was a lot of fun for me. This was the second one, actually. This that I'm showing you right now, this is the first attempt at that doily. As you can see, she's had a bit of a mishap. I had to take out one of the flowers. I had a major mistake, and I thought, well, I could just fudge it and go on, but it was one of those mistakes that would have exponentially made the whole doily different if I would have kept going. So I don't know if she's ever going to get fixed and moved on. I would like to just at least fix this part and then add the flower back in, even, you know. But what started this one and why I stopped it was I started because I have a lot of pinks and I'm not a pinky gal. So I thought, oh, I'll make this big thing out of a bunch of pinks and whatever. Well, as you can see, I started out pink and then I just sort of grabbed colors I thought would go with it. And to me, this doesn't match very well. To me, these colors aren't super complementary. I've showed this in a picture to other people who've said that they really like it and they like the color combination. I'm not so sure, so I don't know. But again, that may just be my anxiety talking. But anyway, I got this done, and I'm really proud that I got the big one done. That's the biggest one I've ever done. And I'm just real excited that I was able to complete it. And once I completed it, it was, I was very encouraged and very almost like, see, haha, self, I can do it, you know, even if I do it when I'm nervous and have anxiety. And this was just a little bit of work at a time. Took me quite a while because I'm a slow tatter besides. But I really like it. And I just wanted to share with you some ha-has and some funny moments. I've made other stuff as well, and I have put it up on our church's welcome center. I made some bunnies, some Easter bunnies from Sabor. I'm sure I'm butchering that name too. I'm sorry. I've made some bunnies, she has one that's called rabbit and one that's called hare. I don't think I have the hare pattern, but I'm going to make the rabbit pattern. I've made the Easter bunny pattern, and she has a really, really, really cute one that's called chicken egg, and I've made that one. That one is super cute. In fact, I might just pause this 1 second and go grab that one to show you. All right, let's take a look. Let's move that out of the way here. Let's go down so you don't have to see me. And take him out of the package. I should have done this off camera. He was all ready to go on the welcome center. But isn't that so cute? He's so cute. That is one of my probably favorite patterns. So cute. So precious. So if you're looking for patterns, go grab that one. That's a cute one. So thank you for watching. Thank you for your attention to this very important matter, at least important to me. I hope it's been encouraging, and I hope that you have a fabulous International Tatting Day. Hope that you enjoy your chocolate, if nothing else, and that you are the masters of the thread. Remember that. You are the master of the thread. You have opposable thumbs, and if all else fails, you got scissors. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful, wonderful tatting day. Bye.